fire round because I have a meeting at 2:15. Let's get started. Nick.
You won't want to discuss anything specifically before the president meets with British Prime Minister, so let me try and ask you a question that you can't answer. Ukraine has been arguing, as we've been talking about, of the utility of long-range fires into Ukraine. It has cited specific targets. It's cited an overall idea of how long-range fires would fit into the broader strategy of victory. So, in general, is that a message that the U.S. has been receiving, and is that a message that will be discussed between British officials, American officials? Obviously, this week's already been, but going forward when it comes to making the decision about.
So, of course, we've been having those discussions with our Ukrainian colleagues. That's one of the things that the Secretary talked about with President Zelensky, with the Prime Minister, and with the Foreign Minister. Came up in all of his meetings in Ukraine 2 days ago, and they're making the case, as they have done consistently since the course of this campaign, where you've seen different times where they've come to make the case for different capabilities or different tactics or other different ways in which we could support them. Our job always is to listen to the case that they make and then think about, as you may have heard the Secretary say when he got this question, I don't know, multiple times while he was in the region, both what it is that we can make available to them, how they can use it, what the long-term strategy behind using those capabilities would be, and then we come back and discuss that with our colleagues here, and ultimately the President makes a decision. As you know, the Secretary had with him the Foreign Minister, David Lammy, and who I know is accompanying the Prime Minister. I'm sure that'll be one of the things that'll be discussed in the meeting today. I do think it is important to note that is not the only topic on the agenda today. We have a long-standing bilateral relationship with the United Kingdom. There are a number of things to talk about in those meetings. Ukraine is an important part of them. It was a large focus of our meetings in the UK, which the Secretary traveled to before Ukraine, but there are other things we talked about too, the war in the Middle East and any number of other topics.
And would a U.S. decision about American long-range weapons, would that be made in concert or independently, perhaps, in a British long-range use of fires inside of?
I don't want to speak to any hypotheticals. As of yet, we have not changed our policy. It's something we discussed with our allies. It's just something we discussed with our Ukrainian partners, and I don't have any announcements to make today.